Listen, so, we've all had our instances where we've ran into police officers, whether it be here in Atlanta, at home in Las Vegas, different Nashville, just different areas. But thank God we're here to be able to talk about it, and it's not a situation where someone's telling that story for us.
Right.
But go ahead about Minneapolis.
And also I want to make sure too that I'd be remiss if I didn't state that there's been a lot of really cool officers that I've encountered with of all ethnicities, all walks of life. White, black. I've met some of the coolest people that have let me off on little warnings and stuff. So I want to make sure that I don't want to seem like I'm painting with a broad stroke and just stating that everybody's this particular way. No, but the situations that you do have sometimes can leave you feeling almost like a PTSD type thing, like a post-traumatic stress disorder type thing. And I didn't share this story for quite some time. So here it is. I had been in Minneapolis for about a month. I was going to Bally's. At the time it was called Bally's. It's called LA Fitness now. I had a lifetime membership that my dad had gotten me and my brother when we were younger. And so I was like 22 years old, and I didn't really know the city of Minneapolis very well. But I knew how to get to and from the gym. And at this particular case, I was leaving and I needed some gas, and so this is before GPS and all those different things. So I was trying to travel down.
Had that garbage. Had that garbage on me.
So I was trying to find out how to get some gas and things like that, and I was on the phone and things like that. And long story made short, well, no, it isn't really long, but driving down after I got my gas and I'm turning on and I'm driving, and I had already heard about the police officers in Minneapolis from some of my frat brothers that were there that had already warned me about being careful, and even some of the young ladies that I had started to get to know, just becoming friends with and dating and things like that. They would
be on guard.
They would always say, "Hey, Minneapolis is called the friendly state and things like that, but you really need to be careful." And it was interesting because I'm coming from the South. I'm coming from Atlanta, right? But what's interesting is with this whole racial thing, the South has a different context, I think, than most places. Other places could say, oh yeah, we're very race friendly, but if you don't have a large population of diversity, then of course it's easy to say that you're very friendly. Whereas, you know what I mean? Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Never really thought about that point, but that's a strong statement.
It's easy. So Minneapolis was this whole friendly state type thing, but the diversity up there, which is why I was there, I got a full scholarship because they were trying to bring in more diversity. They were trying to bring in, So I'm driving down the street and I'm on the phone. Cops pull me over, and where I had to turn in, I ended up having to go into this alley because of where it was structured, and I didn't want them to think, again, you go on guard, you don't want to think that you're pulling too far ahead and you're not paying attention to what they're saying. So pulled down this alleyway, and but that was really kind of stupid on my part because there was nobody else out there, right?
Is it really stupid? I mean, you're getting pulled over by a police officer thinking, oh, okay, it's
but
not a big deal. I'm just trying to find a place where I can pull my car over.
In hindsight, 2020 was stupid because of what ended up occurring. So I pulled over, and cops get out, and there's one on each side, and they walk up, and they both have their lights right in my face. And so, of course, at least me, being from Atlanta, the first thing I said was, I was like, hey, officer, I was like, what's going on? What did I do? I thought that was a standard question, what did I do? And he immediately, kneeled to my window and said, nigger, I'll kill you right now. You don't ask me any fucking questions. Right? And so, all of a sudden, my mind is like, whoa, right? So, I'm like, what is happening here, right? So I look to the other side, and the cop is shining his light, right? So I really can't see anything but lights.
That's the thing.
Right?
It's all you see when those lights. They can see you perfectly, but you can't see anything.
I could not see anything.
It is the worst feeling in the world.
Couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So he said, nigger, we think I'll kill you right now, and all this little stuff. And so my heart's beating fast, and I don't know what to do. So I sit there. He's like, give me your license and registration. So I take out my license, and man, I'm shaking. I got a little tear in my eye, and he said, he grabbed my license, and he said, he's like, you do realize we can lock you up right now, and you'll be raped and fucked by everything you can possibly imagine, and nobody will ever know, right? Now keep in mind, I'm like 22 years old, And so I'm quiet. I don't say anything. Again, I got like little tears. Nervous. I don't know what to do.
Which you should be.
They walked behind my truck. They had my license for like a minute or two. And then I'm just sitting there. And then they came back and they said, get out of here. And that was my story. They didn't pull me out the car. It was just like some very large threats, but I always remember those threats. But here's something that's even more fascinating about this story. So I'm sorry. They gave me a ticket.
So at least they had some evidence.
They said that I had a tail light that was out. They said there was something wrong with my tail light or something like that. Yeah. So they did give me a ticket because this I remember because of what happened next.
Yeah.
So the next story was about a week after that. I'm going to the campus and
different area, same area.
Different area. This is about
whole
the campus.
different area.
And I got pulled over. I was going 10 miles above the speed limit.
Okay.
You know, whatever.
You're wrong.
And I was wrong. I was
it's just what
rushing the class.
Yeah.
And a black officer pulled me over. And he was really respectful, talking to me. And I told him the story. I told him what happened. And I just said, I just want to thank you for being respectable or being respectful to me. And when I told him what happened, he kind of like put his head down type thing. He's like, brother, I'm sorry that happened to you. And he ripped up his little citation he was giving me. He's like, hey man, keep it under the speed limit. I'm sorry that happened. And we dapped hands or shook hands, and that was it. Now,
you dash up out down.
Yeah, right. After that is when I ended up going to the solicitor, right, for the city. Went to the solicitor because I was going to fight this ticket. Actually, before I get to the solicitor, they had a story, and you can look this up, in Minneapolis in 2002. This is 2002 that this happened. When I first got there, within like that first week, a black man had been sodomized by a plunger. The police officers had stated that they thought he had drugs in his rectum, and so they took a plunger and whatever. And so that ended up being like big time news. And so after my ordeal happened, they ended up having this city-wide thing to where it was a public forum. They had the police chief there, the mayor there, and I actually went there and I told my story to everybody. And of course, you have these little puppets that are there, these black folks that, oh man, I'm sorry that happened. Let's talk. They didn't care. They were just there to appease the crowd, right? So that whatever. So that ended up happening. And then after that is when the solicitor thing. I went and talked to the solicitor, who was this white woman, and I went in there and I told her, and she shed a tear because I think she saw the pain on my face and how I felt. So I shared the story of what happened to her. And this is her first comment, and I'll never forget it. She said, Brandon, in Minneapolis, these stories happen every week. She's like, I'm sorry that it happened to you. It happens to a lot of people, particularly if you are if you're brown and black descent. And and then one of the things that I thought about is like, man, the way I look at my hair, my nose, or whatever. One of the first things is like, if you're darker than me, then how bad does it get? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they call me nigger off the rip, then what are they doing to some of these other individuals, right?
What if you were 6'2" and dark?
What if I was 6'2" and bigger, dark skin, and things like that? Like, then what does that mean? But so she ripped my ticket up. She said, you don't have a citation. I'm sorry that this happened. You can make a formal complaint. And that's pretty much the end of my story. But I've been talking about Minneapolis since that happened. And that happened to me. It was like the end of 2002, maybe beginning of 2003. Yeah. And I've been telling everybody about Minneapolis. And this ain't the first. What was it? Sterling? What was his name?
You talking about Sterling Brown?
Sterling.
That guy.
The one he
licensed to carry. Yeah.
So when that happened, I was telling everybody, hey, I've been telling everybody about Minneapolis forever. And so now you have the George Floyd and whatnot. But anyways, that's my story. It's the first time I really shared it. On a large audience or a large scale, but you never get over those situations. And after that, anytime I've gotten pulled over, to be honest, it's almost where a cop has to prove themselves to me to where they're okay, to where I can talk to and be human with. Other than that, I'm just quiet and I'm doing whatever they say. I don't have any conversation.
Say the least.
But you have that post-traumatic stress syndrome disorder.
Man, it does give you. It's like you're jaded. It gives you a PTSD type situation.